Hello, here we are. Welcome to our first Fireside Chat. I'm so glad you could join us. Really excited to kick this off. And this is the Elite Women's Fireside Chat series, the first one. It's a monthly roundtable that brings women together, extraordinary women leaders, innovators, change makers, and I believe that everyone here tonight is that. So each month, our Fireside Chat brings together 2 to 3 special guests for a roundtable discussion on the unique challenges and opportunities that women face today, from ambition and health to career, family, leadership, and personal growth. And today I have the absolute pleasure of welcoming Dr. Natasha Kassam. Dr. Natasha helps people who have done all the right things, yet still feel tense, depleted, or disconnected, drawing on neurophysiology, hypnotherapy, and ancestral wisdom. She guides them to beyond burnout into steadiness, purpose, and renewed vitality. And through her work, Dr. Kassam she helps people awaken their innate capacity to live with presence, courage, and an open heart. So, welcome, Dr. Kassam. We
Thank
also
you.
have Dr. Christina Winsey. She's the director of Mind Body at the Hormone Boss, where she leads the Rise and Thrive 6 module program and provides weekly coaching support to help clients restore balance and vitality. With over 2 decades of experience from medical massage therapy and chiropractic care to holistic health and mindset coaching, Dr. Winsey has guided hundreds of people to overcome stress, burnout, and self-sabotaging habits. And her integrative approach combines mind-body medicine with deep expertise in addictionology and behavior change to help clients create lasting transformation. Welcome, Dr. Winsey. And then finally, we have Dr. Danica Woods. Dr. Woods is a Colorado native who strives to guide patients towards healing and optimal health. And her goals when working with patients are to empower them to make the changes necessary to promote their best health and to facilitate healing experiences. And she emphasizes the health of mind, body, and soul in order to become fully integrated with their intention and purpose. And if she's not in the office or conducting telemedicine appointments, you can find her meditating through crochet, taking a walk, reading a book, listening to a Brene Brown podcast, or playing with her dog, Zeke. So, welcome, Dr. Woods. I love that there's a common thread amongst all of you with your mind-body approach and all of the other modalities, the wonderful modalities in the holistic fields that we practice in. So today we're going to I'm going to ask some questions of each of you, and these are questions that are just about, life, what we want to see for the world, whatever kind of comes up. And I'm going to start with Dr. Winsey, actually. So if you want to start us off, I want to ask you, what gets you out of bed every morning? Oh, and also unmute yourself. It looks like Dr. Winsey and Kasim are muted. Okay, there we go.
Okay. Well, I think for the longest time, I've just been all about empowering others to find their inner voice, to impact the world about the fact that, when I started out in holistic care, became a chiropractor. I really began to understand the innate intelligence of the body and the fact that we are so many aspects, mind, body, spirit, and so much more. But that started when I was 18 because I was on a spiritual path, joined an ashram, and did meditating and just studied all sorts of mind body types of things. But it's really about how can I affect the world? How can I empower people? How can I help people to understand the incredible machine that their body is and that it's connected to the other aspects of themselves? Um, and to get away from the mechanistic kind of take a pill, feel better thing, and really understand that there's a path we go through with holistic medicine that has been a journey to try and teach people, and mostly about getting them empowered in themselves to
Mhm.
really embrace that they have the capability to heal and not give their power away out there. So that gets me out of bed every morning because there's a lot of educating to do out there.
Yes, yes. That's amazing. It sounds like a paradigm shift. We need a paradigm shift, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that you're part of the solution for that. And same question to Dr. Danica.
I mean, if I could just answer same, I would. Yeah, I mean, I think it's my patience. I absolutely love working with people. I always knew I wanted to be in kind of a health service sort of role and helping people heal and get well and live their best, full, most authentic life. Um, yeah, and you know what I tell patients, especially when I'm talking with them about work or, some of these like stressors in their lives, I think one thing I have to emphasize and one thing I always ask people is are you happy in your job? Do you enjoy the work that you do? And most people would say like, "Oh, I guess I'm kind of passionate about it. I love the people I work with." But I think, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. You're just
Mhm.
excited to do the work that you're meant to do on this planet. So, yeah, that definitely gets me out of bed. And then what physically gets me out of bed is my dog, typically. He loves to jump up like first thing in the morning and yeah, get some morning snuggles, but then he's ready to go for the day. So, but yeah, pretty much the same.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, a pet is always, I have three cats, and so they wake
Mhm.
us up at 5 a.m. every morning, like an alarm. We don't even need an alarm clock.
It's true. It's true.
And Dr. Natasha, what gets you out of bed every morning?
I mean, it's lovely to be with like-minded and values-aligned colleagues, right? We share such similarity and what inspires us, what helps us to get through a day. I'm a sunrise and sunset chaser, so definitely it is about embodying wellness and being in harmony and experience the awe of life. So what gets me out of bed is like being able to get out into nature, to embody wellness in some way, to lean into what is possible in a day in life. Um, and through that, right, embodying that wellness to be able to uplift and to share that with other individuals. I have I really have this deep service within me, as you'll hear, like with everybody here, right? Toward being able to support individuals in their well being path, to be able to clear the patterns that life feels like a burden, and to be able to really feel empowered and, yeah, just in alignment with their values and what is beautiful about life and about living.
Amazing. Yeah, I really felt it when you were saying that. And like Danica said, same. Like I do feel that purpose that we all share and that feeds our soul, right?
Mhm.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing. And also, Natasha, what do you think is your biggest achievement yet?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I think, if it's a personal achievement versus like career achievement, I think the personal achievement is my commitment to living. I spent a lot of my life uh, experiencing and struggling with mental health concerns, feeling that I was a burden or that life was a burden.
Mm.
And to be at a place now in life where I feel like that imprint, that texture, that like veil over my seeing and embodying and being alive is cleared away. And I'm in this state of awe every morning. Like, this is such a miraculous opportunity. I feel like that is my biggest achievement, to want to be here and to want to experience thriving, and then to be able to know that is my sole purpose, is to help amplify that for everyone that's around me.
Mm. And those ripples and the waves that
Yeah.
reach out to everyone else. I love that you chose to share that because I happen to know that you have a lot of career achievements that are pretty spectacular too.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
So, and what about you, Danica? What would you say is your biggest achievement to date?
Hmm. So, I mean, okay, biggest. Buying this practice, I think, is probably the biggest achievement. Certainly couldn't have done it without the help of my spouse, but really being able to build up the patient population that we're seeing here, working with people from the Denver metro area as well as all over the state. I think it's really valuable to be able to work with folks. Yeah, being able to be in a place where I had never really expected to own a practice or to run a clinic. I was always happy just kind of doing my thing. And yeah, the opportunity presented itself. And the fact that my colleague trusted me enough to take over her business
Mm.
when her priority shifted towards more of the family piece, I was really thrilled to be able to do that. Um, and also kind of just maintain a sense of sanity and healthy habits, those sorts of things when stress gets to be really high. It's something that I've tried to prioritize a lot in the last year, especially as my extended family is growing and I want to be a part of my niece's life. And yeah, just being able to kind of maintain that balance too, I'd say is probably my biggest achievement at this point.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
pretty big deal to run a whole practice.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that is big. And then to maintain sanity.
It's
That's
always a work in
great.
progress.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Christina, what about you? What would you say is your biggest achievement?
Well, it's really an ongoing achievement, but I've come a long, long way. And I have a ways to go, which is to find a way to control my monkey mind
Mm.
and really choose my thoughts and feelings on a moment-to-moment basis. And that is an ongoing sport.
Mm.
It's, you can get better and better at it. And I feel as though it has been a huge achievement because, like Natasha, I suffered with depression. I suffered with a lot of emotional unintelligence, dysfunctional family, all kinds of things that I had to overcome.
Mm.
And so I just put it all in the category of learning how to have uh, control of the monkey mind and be able to choose life the way I want it. And the other little piece, it's not so little, is um, as I was aging and my kids were growing, I began to understand that it's in the precious moments that if I memorized the joy of each moment, then the end of the day was great, and the end of the week was great, and the end of the month was great, and the end of the year, and so on. And that's such a huge gift for me to be able to love life, love myself.
What an incredible thought to share. I haven't quite heard it like that, so thank you.
Mm.
Yeah, I love that. Um, Amazing. And And then, Christina, has there ever been a time where you felt held back by something?
Absolutely. Um, yeah. Um, First and foremost was an eating disorder from the age of 14, probably even earlier, which is why I became an addictionologist. And it was that plus imposter syndrome, but just never really feeling good enough, always feeling like I was on the outside, looking in when I was with a group of women, just kind of looking at them like, not even in joining in on the conversation because I didn't feel good enough. And especially if my body wasn't the right size, not feeling like, and it caused me in many ways there's a blessing and a curse to that.
Mhm.
Um, because whatever is painful, it kind of pushes you into what is the solution. And if you're bold enough to go for the solution, which thank God I did, but it did hold me back. In fact, just a really quick story is I wanted to be on Broadway, actually. I never wanted to be a doctor. I was in New York City when I was growing up, and I went to an audition where, my parents had no idea how to help me with that or how to get trained with that. I did what I could, but I went to this audition and I was sitting outside, and the Broadway voices in the audition room were so loud and so incredible, and I knew I couldn't do it, so I left. And it wasn't just the Broadway voices, it was also my body because I knew I wasn't thin enough and beautiful enough and all of that stuff. So I thank the eating disorder for what it gave me, which is a whole bunch of healing, a whole bunch of personal growth, and the ability now to help others to overcome it. My goal is if I can save younger women from not having as many years of pain as I did. That's
Mhm.
huge,
Yeah,
huge.
that's amazing. So a sense of belonging when you felt like an outsider. I think probably a lot of us have that same thing that holds us back sometimes. We don't feel good, not feeling good enough,
Hmm.
feeling like we don't belong. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing such a vulnerable story that's helpful, I'm sure, for a lot of women. And Natasha, do you want to answer that too? Is there a time that you felt held back by something?
Gosh, I'm so touched by what Dr. Winsey just shared. And it's so interesting how much we have in common of experiences that we've gone through in life, the challenging ones, but also what we did with those challenges.
Mhm.
I would say similarly, this sort of internalization of shame and patterns of self-harm really held me back. I mentioned the mental health concerns um and then also just like not honoring my nervous system regulation, my capacity. So often experiencing these times of burnout, and then that like just not honoring that and keep trying to push myself to complete exhaustion, doing more than I had the capacity to do. I feel like continually held me back because then I'd get very ill. And
Mhm.
then like I physically couldn't continue.
Mhm.
So that internalization of shame and being so hard on myself and wanting to continue to like push myself to be more, to be better, and
Mhm.
then in the end getting ill, and then that's for sure stopping me in my tracks and then having to figure out my way to rebuild myself. And it is in that cycling and patterning, as Dr. Winsey mentioned, like these things have, what do we do with that? And how do we heal that for ourselves? And then as we're doing that, how amazing of a gift of different people and modalities showing up in our world, and then this inspiration to help people to ease their own suffering also. So yeah, turning it into something beautiful, but it has certainly helped me held me back many a time.
Yeah, and the theme that seems to be there that manifests, I'm sure, in a lot of women, or maybe this is one of the manifestations, is the perfectionism, right? And that's what we're ashamed that we're not perfect. And that if we have to be perfect in order to be loved. It's really interesting, and it affects so many of us. And yeah, so yeah, it is interesting that there are some similarities there, and I very much appreciate that. Danica, what has happened that has stopped you from making progress?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's, I feel like I have very similar themes of shame. I think self-doubt comes up a lot for me.
Mm,
Doubting the capacity that I have to be able to do something, my like physical ability to be able to do something. Um, yeah, I think it kind of goes along. I'm a oldest daughter, so I've got that like type A personality, perfectionist, but very like easy to overwhelm as well. So just feeling kind of that like bubbling experience up inside, and I'm like, oh my gosh, just kind of getting to a place where yeah, it almost feels like it kind of halts you in your tracks, and you have to breathe and take a step back and say like, okay, what are the main reasons that I want to do this thing, and where am I doubting myself? Where am I holding myself back? I think I am kind of my own worst enemy at times too. So it's that self-doubt.
yeah, and I'm sure we can all relate to that. I know I can.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Um, and let's mix it up a little bit. Christina, what are you working on right now?
I'm glad you asked. I'm diving back into uh, traditional Chinese medicine, acupressure, and developing specifically a protocol for acupressure for different symptoms in menopause to help our clients. I also am working on a program for January for weight loss and food issues. So it's not just weight loss. It's about, okay, we've all done 100 diets. That's not the answer. How do we change the habits? How do we change in here and in here so that it's long term? And
Mhm.
I actually want to say, going back to another question, that I think one of my biggest accomplishments really has been the healing of the eating disorder and becoming normal with food and uh, yeah, so I'm working on creating that program for January for our clients and others, and just it's the creative process. I love creating programs and opportunities for people to come and get some new information, new ways of doing things so that they can actually transcend their own issues and empower themselves.
Amazing. I can't wait. I'm very excited. Yeah, we more tools because the fewer like tools and behavior change things that we implement, the more supplements or something we have to take, right? Like, and so it's always nice to have an internal transformation that the power of our mind and the power
Mhm.
of, I mean, an ancient, what, 3,000, 4,000 year old technique like such as acupuncture in that world. That's amazing. Um, and Natasha, what are you working on these days?
Oh my goodness, so much fun stuff. So I just completed at the Naturopathic Oregon conference, I did a talk on ethics in integrative medicine about disrupting power dynamics, about embodied consent and nervous system regulation. And so I've been putting together submissions for different conferences. That one in Oregon, I'm so grateful that went really, really amazingly well, better than I could have ever imagined. And so being able to share that with colleagues and also I just did a workshop for filmmakers of color, and I took that talk that I did for the OMP, but personalized it for creatives in leadership. So that's kind of what I'm doing there. And the last is revising the Gold Album, which is that like digital program that's a framework of healing, and it has hypnosis and meditation and really brings ancestral wisdom with neurophysiology. So I'm really thrilled to kind of bring all of this together. It's been the most uh, I feel like I'm really actually living my career dreams, the things that I had wanted for so long, the people I want to serve. It's like you're just doing it now. And that is a totally amazing experience to finally arrive.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Thanks.
Great. And Danica, what about you? What are you working on that you're excited about?
Yeah, so running the practice, of course, working with patients one-on-one. We have been kind of spitballing the idea of maybe more like group sessions, those sorts of things. We have a lot of women in the fertility realm that we're working with currently. So trying to figure out how that looks and maybe coordinating with some of the reproductive centers close by, because I do feel like there's especially in working with the hormone boss previously, there's so much adrenal support needed in order for healthy pregnancies to happen when it hasn't happened before. Love getting messages from my patients that they have a positive pregnancy test. It just like lights up my day. Um, Aside from that, I'm also on the Colorado Association Board of Naturopathic Doctors. I'm serving a second term at this point. And I was the voluntold legislative chair this year. So we had kind of statewide two bills in the last couple of years that we've presented to the House and then to the Senate Health Human Services Committees to try and get our formulary expanded here in Colorado. We can't prescribe the things that we're trained to prescribe. And it really puts a big damper on our profession out here. You know, we can test, we can diagnose, we can order labs, we can do all of the things, but to be able to write a prescription for a urinary tract infection, I have to send people to urgent care. And certainly, you know, that's not always what I want to do. I have natural options, things that I can recommend for situations like that. But it does kind of shackle us with our full ability as naturopathic doctors here. So yeah, we're building relationships, we're talking to senators. I have many meetings coming up where I'm just kind of telling people about what it is that naturopathic medicine does and what we do here in Colorado and ways that we can better serve our patients. So that's kind of the big project, and definitely occupies a lot of the mental space for me. So
Yeah, yeah. I'm so glad there's people out there doing this work because I don't feel like I do have the capacity to do it. And so I'm very grateful for everyone who's on the forefront fighting for our profession. So
yeah.
thanks for doing that.
And even just, you know, healthcare for our patients. We want people to be able to have the choice and not clog up the medical system as it stands at this point further.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's the big project.
Well, and I'm going to ask you the next question too, then. What is it that you really want to see for the world?
Hmm. I mean, one aspect where I felt like I was very aligned with your mission was empowering women. You know, if women are able to get into that place of feeling powerful, feeling educated, feeling strong in their voice, then we can lift folks up. And it does kind of make the world like your Empowered Women's Project. Previously, I'm not sure what this looks like, but the membership, but you know, we're better leaders, we're more compassionate, we're more empathetic, we connect with all humans and not just people who may look similar to us or have similar political views or whatnot. We're able to kind of encompass the planet from a loving standpoint. So yeah, I would love to see more women in power, more more compassion, more joy, um, way less stress, way less burnout, less financial strife, all of that.
I love
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's in perfect alignment with what, you
Yeah.
know, what the fireside chats are actually all about and and this is hosted inside of my Elite Women Health and Performance Mastery membership.
Right.
And so it's perfect for all of the members there. And I'm sure inspires everyone listening too, because we all want to have, I think, I imagine we all want the same thing, which is a more compassionate, sustainable, peaceful world, right? So yeah, I thumbs up. And Christina, what about you? I know that probably resonates with you, but what angle could you put on it that you really want to see, or something totally different? What is it that you really want to see in the world?
I really would love to see people coming together, communicating without without anger and without rancor, just communities coming together and solving community problems. We are such a, we are so separate in so many ways, and the
Mhm.
AI and the technology has added to that. I mean, look, here we are on a computer. I
Mhm.
can't reach out and touch you, you know.
Mhm.
We have to learn to touch with our words. And I just feel there's a secondary one, which is to detox the earth, which is a huge problem
Mhm.
project. But I think it starts with detoxing ourselves from anger and hatred, and
Mhm.
really coming together um, to understand that if if humanity loses, we all lose.
Mhm.
There's no coming back from how do we keep humanity going? We're in a time when we're below the needed birth rate to reproduce ourselves and have a thriving uh, country, world. We need more babies. And fertility is declining. So, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the things that are happening that are destroying humanity. And let's work together in our communities and communicate so we turn it around. And that's going to take a lot of work. There's no president, no senator, it's us that has to do that. We're the ones that get to choose how we want our world to be. And I think, if there's anything I could do, it would be to have a loudspeaker going to the entire planet saying, "Come on, everybody."
Yeah, I feel like our modern lifestyles they're very isolated, at least here, I mean, there's other places like the Philippines or whatever, where the family unit is the center of their world. And I do feel like we're very isolated from each other here, family, community, all of that. So yeah, I think that's beautiful. And I love what you said about detoxing from the anger. And yeah, there's a lot of negativity around these days. So I definitely also want that. So thank you for the prayers to that end. Natasha, what would you like to share and see for the world?
Yes. So similar, right? I mean, wanting to see the systems, particularly of medicine, evolve to honor science, soul, and community, right? Where wellness is really rooted in belonging. And we remember that healing is not something we do alone. It's something that we experience in community.
Hmm.
And that joy and play are such an important and vital part
Yeah.
of profound transformative healing, along with repair and nervous system regulation and what we put in our body and all those things. But I feel like we often forget how important community is, how important joy and play is
Mhm.
in the transformation of our well-being, personally, and then in our little units and beyond.
Yeah, I need more joy and more play. That is for sure. That is a great reminder. And the thing is that when we want this for the world, we have to start with ourselves, right?
Yes.
So I think we can all take a little bit of that away tonight and maybe implement. Um, Such great conversations. And so Natasha, I'm going to ask this of each of you. Do any of you have someone that you would love to recommend as a guest for the Fireside Chats? Because I want to grow our women leaders who are coming in and sharing their experience and their knowledge with us. Any, does anyone have anyone that they can think of that would be a great guest on here?
I've been
Uh,
putting my thinking cap
okay.
on. Oh, I'm sorry,
No,
Natasha.
you go ahead.
No, I've been putting my thinking cap on, and it depends on how, what you want to bring to the community. Um, it doesn't always have to be about health, like you
It's not
said.
going to be either. So this month is, I wanted to get the gang together, all of us who've worked together, and I just, wanted to see all your lovely faces and be in the same room. Next month, it's going to be um, also some naturopathic doctors that are people that are very important in my network that I thought we'd be, and we're very close, and I thought it would be a really fun night. And then the month after that, we're starting to get into some very different types of leaders. They're in business or yeah, very diverse. And so I'm wanting to create a space for women of all backgrounds and expertise and whatever that they might want to be sharing that we could just have a fun conversation. So yeah, and if anyone who has joined us tonight, if you want to add any, suggest someone, go ahead and put them in the chat. And we'll also be having time when we're done for questions. So if you have questions for any of us, feel free to also put those in the chat and we'll try to get through as many as possible. But yeah, what about you, Danica? Any names of someone that you
Yeah, so prior to me pursuing medical school and going this route, I originally, like, my story is I wanted to go into pediatrics as like an MD. I had no idea that naturopathic medicine existed or that there were any alternatives. It just did not exist in my world at that point in time. But through like personal family strife going on, I started working with a life coach here in Denver.
Mm,
She currently lives in San Diego. Her name is Heather Steele. She is wonderful. She's created some training programs. I'm happy to pass along her contact information
okay.
to you. But she's amazing. And I think, from conversations with her, it helps me realize that kind of going back to what holds us back, like our own self-doubt, our own stories, our own patterns, those are the things that oftentimes we need to work on unwinding in order to get to a full kind of enlightened, empowered state. Um, Quick story that I'll share is she started working with a client who um, just immobilized, like was not able to move her body very well, was in chronic pain, was walking with, I think maybe a cane. When I met her after she had worked with Heather, started kind of moving through her stuff, doing the work. I met her. She was the boys counselor at a summer camp that I volunteered at, and she was kicking her legs up and dancing the whole time, like no pain, no discomfort, all through like the mental work and the story work and her pattern
Wow.
um, work. So yeah, she's a cool person to have a conversation with.
She sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. You can connect me after
Mhm.
this. Send me
Yep.
her info. That'd be
Sure
great.
will.
Thank you. And Natasha, did you have anyone come to mind?
Yeah, there's two that come pretty strongly that I feel like would be wonderful for this type of conversation. One is Nicole Lee. She's a transformational coach, and she does a lot of work, but where I really feel she's so supportive is around grief and loss. Um,
Okay.
and how to live with that, how to keep going. And she's a wonderful person, great storytelling, very captivating, and just, I mean, all heart, just so much love and compassion. So I adore her. She'd be a wonderful person just to be around, just to hear her and feel her vibrancy. It's amazing. And the other is Katie Chen Mazzara, who is my financial coach, money coach. And she really brings the spiritual aspect. She takes a very holistic approach to financial well being.
Ah,
And I love that, and has a very strong mission around empowering women. She had a family, she comes from family in dynamics where she saw women stay in relationships that were harmful to them.
mhm.
And that was partly because of finances. And so she's on a mission to help individuals feel empowered around money so they can make conscious choices around the relationships, the work environment, what they choose for their life, not stuck
Mhm.
because of financial restraint or lack of confidence around money.
I love that.
Yeah.
Someone to help us with money. Yes.
I, if I may,
Mhm.
anybody that I would recommend is probably pretty woo-woo. And I don't know if you want woo-woo.
I mean, we're all a little woo. Everyone here tonight is a little woo.
Yeah,
I
a
mean,
little
I'm
woo.
maybe the least woo, but I'm open to woo.
Okay. Well, there's a shamanic healer in France who has an online presence, Sarita Soul. Um, uh, there's another amazing psychic woman, and Laura Eisenhower, incredible in astrology and insight into what's happening um, to humanity, to the world. There's a bunch of woo. So
Okay.
if you want some woo, let me know.
Those are interesting. I want all flavors. So
Okay.
that's great. Um, okay, so I know that Danica, you only have a couple minutes. How can people find you if they want to learn more from you?
Yeah. So I am not currently big on social media. It is a particular goal for this next year. But Natural Medicine of Denver is our practice. Um, yeah, and you can find me there. I've got a free 15-minute consultation for folks who want to work together. No obligations or anything. I just love talking about what it is that we do. Yeah, that's probably the easiest way.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And we do have a question for the last couple of minutes, so that you can leave on time. I want to see if Michelle says this is for all of us. What is one thing you suggest for us to implement daily to experience more joy?
I would love to hear Christina's answer as far as like choosing that joy.
Well, in I think it's really about deciding to be grateful, joyful. We have 1,000 things we can complain about, and believe me, as we age, there's even more to complain about. And if you focus on that, you won't feel much joy. So it's really about choosing where am I going to put my focus? Because wherever your focus goes, your energy goes, and wherever energy goes, things expand. So it's about what's good, and also one of the things I do in coaching is a list of 20 things that bring you joy, from 5 minute thing to a 10 or 15 minute thing to a half hour thing to a 1 hour thing to a whole day. Like, have a list, because usually it's just like when somebody says, "What do you want for your birthday?" You have no idea. But if you have a list, then you can go to your list
Yeah,
and
or
do
what do you
that.
want to do this weekend?
I know.
And for some reason, when you get to the weekend, you're like, I don't know what you know.
Yeah.
That's a great tip. I love that. Anything to add, Danica, before you have to run?
I would just say, I think knowing yourself is really important, like the small things that can bring you joy. For me, I'm very much an introvert. I feel like in this space, and y'all can't see my office behind me, but in this space, I give a lot of myself every day, and I'm an introvert through and through. So holding space for other patients brings me a lot of joy, but it depletes my energy battery, my social battery a lot. So going home at the end of the day, I find myself crocheting for 5 minutes. Even if I'm kind of like out of the habit, I'm like, okay, I just need like 10 minutes to settle into myself. And that brings me a lot of joy, especially when, I mean, crochet for me is incredibly meditative. Number one, I'm doing a lot of counting. If I don't pay attention, I
Hmm.
get totally thrown off of the pattern. Um, but I think what's really cool is taking a ball of yarn and it's like string and then it forms something new. That brings me a lot of joy. So even just working on a project for 5 minutes per day has become a huge priority for me, even if I'm totally exhausted or my arm is really sore for some reason or my hands are cramping. I'm like, okay, just 5 minutes. Let's just get into that groove.
Also,
So
Zeke, I think, brings you a lot of joy too.
he does. He has been semi-struggling recently, so he's also been a huge stressor, but
Oh,
yeah, he is a huge source of joy seeing his face. I'm like his little toothless
yeah, pets
face.
are always they're pets have the pros and the cons.
They sure do.
They bring
Yeah.
you joy, but they also bring you a lot of heartache.
I mean, they're the babies, so
Yeah,
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
yeah. Natasha, anything
It's so
to add?
beautiful. I love hearing all of these joy sparkles. I would say getting out in nature. I really, really feel like that is number one. To get outside, to deeply immerse yourself in nature, to hear bird song is so soothing, is so delightful. There's so much beauty out there. And when we can get into nature, we remember. And we find again that place of delight and wonder and awe. And yeah, I really feel like that refuels joy within.
I had this vision when you said that of just going out to into the woods or whatever and just laying down.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, so
Laying
lovely.
down, looking at having a different perspective, right? You're looking at the
Yeah.
trees and the sky and the clouds, and you're hearing and feeling the dirt and the grass and the bushes and I don't know, just all that stuff. It definitely makes me want to go do it right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you
Thanks
so
for
much.
asking, Michelle.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Michelle. And thanks for everyone. I know Danica has to run, so I want to let you go. And thank you so much for being a special guest tonight. So you're free to go.
Sounds good.
And if the other two of you want to stay, if there's any other questions, we can answer those. If not, then we can also close the evening. If anyone else here has other questions, we're here to answer. And if I don't see any other questions come up, I might ask a bonus question.
Oh.
I don't see anything coming yet. So I'm going to ask you two a bonus question.
Love it.
Okay.
What does thriving look like to you at this stage in your life and career? Who wants to volunteer to answer that?
I'm going to let Natasha go first.
I really can honestly say I really do feel like I am for maybe the first time embodying that. And it's taken me so to want it, but to actually feel like I'm living it. And for me, it's so much about this service while holding my capacity, while honoring like what is in my capacity, what like not overriding my nervous system, not pushing to perform or to be perfect, but really coming from like being honest. Here are the resources I have available, and this is my work of service, and having them align. And that has really brought me thriving. And part of that is being in nature as much as I possibly can, because that just is my refuel, really. Yeah.
Amazing. I love that. Thank you.
Well,
Christina, what
thriving
about
for
you?
me, yeah, for me, it's interesting because I'm in a different stage of life, you know. You're all much younger, and when I was your age, it was got to get there, got to get there, got to get there, got to get there. And now I am so content to just be.
Mm,
And like you, Natasha, I mean, I'm an avid gardener. I'm very into my veggie garden and my flower garden, and I don't have necessarily a green thumb, but I just love digging in the dirt. I love being out in the sun and continuing to learn and grow. I don't think we're thriving if we just uh, say, okay, this is as far as I've gone, you know, I'm here. It's not about getting somewhere. It's about really being happy where you are and then knowing that there's more journey to make and enjoying that journey without it's got to get somewhere, without the constant, you know, and I'm an Aries. I'm an Aries with a Taurus rising, and I've always been a bull in the china shop, but the Aries also is like get started and do new things and jump in. And in your 60s, that changes. It just does.
mhm.
And but I feel like I'm thriving because I love everything I'm doing, and I'm just content to do it and it not having to lead somewhere, which
Mm.
is huge. It's just so different.
I love that. I love that. I need a little bit more of that, I think. Um, if I may, I'm going to answer too. My stage, I think that I'm in is kind of coming into my own as far as like not being afraid to stand in the spotlight. And I mean, I don't love it, you know, but stand in the spotlight and put yourself out there, even if it means you're going to get haters, right? Like even there's always going to be the haters or whatever, and you can't make it's just not about you, right? So in order for me to get my message out there and get empower more women, like I can't be afraid to step into my power.
Yes.
And it's part of the reason why I started the Fireside Chats. And this is our very first one, so I'm excited about how this will evolve and you know, meeting amazing new women leaders and also helping the women in the membership where these are hosted. And I'm excited for what's ahead for that. And by the way, I also forgot to introduce myself when we first started. So, for everyone watching, I'm Dr. Iris Crawford. I'm the founder of the Hormone Boss and the Empowered Women's Health Project. And I also forgot to, when I was talking about Dr. Danica Woods, in her bio, I shortened it, and I think I inadvertently removed the part that she's the co-author of my book. Everything's Not Normal, The Empowered Woman's Guide to Getting the Healthcare You Deserve. So she and I co-wrote that book. So just want to mention that there. So I think, does anyone want to add anything else, or are there other, I'm not seeing other questions.
Well, where can they reach Natasha?
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for reminding me. So both of you, actually, I want to be able to send people to you if if they were really compelled by hearing how you help people. What do you have available, or where can people reach you? And I'll be sharing all the links in the membership when I post this too.
Thank you. That's so sweet of you, Dr. Winsey. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
bringing it.
thank you.
Yeah. Drnatasha.net is my website. And on there are, the opportunity for exploring hypnosis recordings. If people are interested in delving into that modality, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. So yeah, that's a way to kind of check out some of the work that I'm up to. And I'm not on social media that often, quite honestly, but I will give my like LinkedIn and my Instagram handle, though I'm not usually on either one that much. But yeah, on the website, you can connect with me. There's a discovery call where you could check out the hypnosis, and then that will give you access to being able to connect with me more. Yeah.
And what about the gold album? Like, how could
Yeah.
people interact or participate in that?
Yeah, there's info on my website about the Gold album, and those two recordings that are on the website where you can check them out and they're complimentary. That's kind of a preview for what we do in the Gold album for, kind of giving you an idea of the framework and the mission that I feel like who I'm meant to serve and that type of thing. So yeah, you can learn about it there.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. And Christina, do you have anything for like how people can connect with you? How would you like that to happen if they wanted to learn more from you?
Well, they certainly can write me at the Hormone Boss. Enrollments at, I think it's enrollment at
Mhm.
naturecurewellness.com. So we can
Okay.
put that link.
Okay.
Um, and within the Hormone Boss, you don't have to be in the entire program in order to work with me as a coach, because we do have additional services in hypnosis and coaching. Um, and we're working on all kinds of things to make available. Even when your hormones are balanced, there's more to do. So,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Life never gets old, does it? We just always have things to work on. And I mean, that's part of the fun, I
exactly.
suppose, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we did it. So thank you so
Yay.
much. I
Yay.
loved having all of you here, and I hope that the people who came on or who will watch in the future enjoy it as well. Give us feedback if you have people that you want to recommend to come on as guests. We'd love to connect. So
Thank you so much.
yeah, and this
Yeah.
is this is really what I'm creating here is the culture of where women's voices ignite possibility. So,
That's
I
beautiful.
like that tagline. That's
yeah,
cool.
Beautiful. Yeah.
yeah. Well, thank you all. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you all soon.
All
Bye.
right. Good night.